to Onesies, a podcast of onesies and wonders and blunders. My name's Andrew.
My name's Emily.
We're back discussing the 1998 ABC sitcom, Northern Exposure-esque comedy drama, 1 hour comedy drama, Maximum Bob. We are talking about episode 5, which is entitled
Good Dog Carl.
Good Dog Carl. We had some concerns about what this episode would be last week.
It was not that, but it was just as bad.
Yeah.
Because, well, from my perspective, the way Beth Grant directed the guy to draw the Okeechobee Wolfman was racist.
Yes, indeed. Yes, indeed. Pin in that though, because we also get to cover there's a lot of women manipulating women. There's one scene of women supporting women, doesn't pass Bechdel at all, but it at least is women supporting women. We can discuss just not liking women. We're gonna get to talk about that. We're gonna get to
talk about... we pre-recording, that's all you were talking about, how much you don't like women. So I think I'm good. Thank you.
Okay, so folks, I have not wanted to talk about this, but the reason we are watching this show is because Emily is actually married to...
Beau Bridges?
No.
Why don't I have more money?
I don't, because you're actually married to Barry Sonnenfeld. That's why you don't have more money.
Come on, he's got to have more money.
He makes so many good choices.
He still keeps getting choices.
He's a fucking white man. Of course he does. So the episode begins with the judge sucking up to some old Southern lady.
Oh boy, that was the worst scene in the whole thing.
It'd been nice to know you watched this after I watched it. But anyway, so the judge is trying to suck up to this old lady who gets more and more... Basically, she's upset because you can't talk about all the good things slavery did. Oh,
yeah, it was pretty...
She'd lived till now, right?
Jesus, I'm glad that bitch is dead.
So,
yeah, it's pretty gnarly. You can tell that Leanne... So through the scene, Leanne is sitting there too. It's like a little... I don't want to say garden party because it's just the three of them. But Leanne is listening to this woman's
white supremacist rant.
Yeah, she's talking about her, heritage, not hate, and her family members who fought in the Civil War and blah, blah, blah. And Leanne seems to be getting increasingly annoyed, but it turns out, I mean, maybe she is, but I think what ultimately happens is that Wanda Grace, by the way, who we haven't seen since like episode 2, and also because we haven't seen her since episode 2, there was a whole introduction from the first 2 episodes talking about her, reintroducing her to the scene. But Wanda Grace takes over Leanne's body and starts talking mad shit about the old woman, and reminded her that her great-grandmother's mother was actually a slave, an enslaved woman. I'm sorry. And the woman is mortified, but not for the reasons you might hope. She does not want to acknowledge...
revealing that to the old woman. The old woman hadn't realized this yet.
Okay. And she's horrified, not because, she can't believe that people enslaved people, but because she doesn't want to be even a single drop of anything other
United States, baby,
than white.
It's always been a shit hole. They should have fucking killed every single white person who landed. Anyway, yes. So at that point of the episode, I was also in the recap was Big giving Leanne the ultimatum that it's either him or Wanda
Right.
Grace, which had me very concerned because
Because that was from the pilot, right? No, it wasn't from the
the
pilot.
second
The
episode,
second episode.
which was the second pilot to some degree. We are seeing the somewhat absurd rehabilitation of Maximum Bob in this series. Like, he never turns this woman's money down. Like, this is 1998. They probably would have pulled ABC's license if he'd done something like that.
But also, he acknowledges that all of her concerns about race and Confederate heritage and et cetera, he says, oh, that's already part of my platform.
Yes. He's
he is on board.
He's on board with the white supremacy. Okay. So we then get the credits. And then do we go to Miami for what's her face packing up some shit? Or
I don't know. I don't know where she is.
I think she might be like, what is even her name?
Kathy.
So the other plot this episode, oh no, we cut to the swamps.
Yeah, we cut to the swamp and the twins. The swamp twins.
The swamp twins are getting ready to go. Then mom is there. They're all bundled up in their hunting gear. But then we cut to a motel where a buxom lass goes in for a little rendezvous and is attacked and screams.
She's calling. So you hear snarling and growling in the background, and she calls for her honey bun. And then she gets attacked. I was kind of only half paying attention. Then the family, the hunting family, Beth Grant and her two boys, hear it. They run after, save her, something. I don't remember. And then do we cut to the police station the next day?
Police station where they're filing the report. They think it is either a gator man or a man gator. The sheriff thinks this is stupid.
Then can I tell you why? Because it's stupid. Reminds me of a great Andy Kindler joke. He says, I was flipping through the TV and I saw the Three Stooges. And I finally realized why women hate the Three Stooges. Because they're not funny. It's good. It's a good one.
I will just point out whether or not Emily wants to discuss Mr. Emily actually being Barry Sonnenfeld. Let's remind everyone that it was Mr. Emily's pick for this show. And so I've already determined our next show, and it is something we are watching in case there aren't elections in the fall and we are on the run. So
cool.
Yeah. So there you go. So it's a bucket list item. Anyway, so
we're in the police station, and Beth Grant is there with her two boys. They're describing there's like an artist who's gonna draw what they saw, and Beth Grant takes over after the boys are fighting about whether it's a gator man or a man gator. She says no, it's the Okeechobee wolf man. And while the sheriff is talking to somebody else, he's drawing, and then bam, she shows him the picture, and it is a caricature of a person who has been living in the wild, that looks like a black man. I mean,
perhaps the sketch was left over from the other ABC show. So far, the only show we ever gave up on, Going to Extremes.
Oh, that's right.
So we get that scene. The motel clerk calls, says, yeah, I saw who it was. It was the Okeechobee Wolfman.
Yes.
Lady's still asleep, so they can't question her.
In the hospital. She's missing 3 fingers.
2 fingers.
Is it 2? The description on Wikipedia says 3.
Well, you better tell Mr. Emily to edit that. You tell Mr. Sonnenfeld to get on it after he puts his teeth in. Okay. So, then what happens? Then we probably get Kathy taking boxes out of a building for no reason. She's not in Miami. It just So Deepwater, we now see signs for it that say population 30,000.
It's
Emily's going to
big.
go back and check every episode for the other signs and let us know if the population has changed on the signs, because it did not give off that vibe in the first few episodes that it was that big.
30,000 is pretty
That's
big.
pretty big. Dare I say, it might be two judges in the county big.
Yeah.
Okay, so we then get a dog in Kathy's car. She's like, "What's up, dog?" And then that's it. We cut to some other plot line, possibly the woman in the hospital giving her statement to the sheriff, where she does not want to say what she was doing in the hotel
Yes.
because she was doing something indiscreet, um, which frustrates the sheriff. Nope, that's not it yet, because during that scene is when we see the ring.
Yes. So
No, it can't be. They wouldn't
yeah,
wait that long, would they?
I think the only thing we missed is Blondie, sheriff deputy, going to the hotel and picking the ring out of some poopy
No,
while
because he
they're
does
like,
that after he gets the dog. So, and we have the scene with women supporting women between dog things. So we're gonna have
okay,
Leanne and Kathy are getting pedicures and hanging out, continuing the friendship we have not seen since episode 1.
yes.
Emily was like, "My husband, Barry Sonnenfeld, is a feminist. Look at this great subplot that he wants me to
Yeah.
watch." Instead, it totally disappears. To return here. In fact, I think in like the second episode, when Leanne and Kathy hang out, it's weird. They're like not comfortable
Yeah.
together.
Yeah.
Anyway, they're comfortable together again. We're back
They're
in
like
that.
it's like they're getting manicures or pedicures or
They're getting
something.
pedicures. Yeah. I, I
Hmm.
I just said that. Are you playing
Sorry.
a video game on your phone?
No. Shut up. I was texting Mr. Emily, Mr. Sonnenfeld.
Well, for the archives, I suppose this will be tried in the Barry Sonnenfeld archives. Uh okay. So anyway, they are talking to each other because we have skipped around that Big has gone to see the preacher
Oh, right.
because he wants to get Leanne exorcised of Wanda Grace. We get the preacher's description of her again, which
Not flattering.
not flattering. Also, we had been absent these vibes for a couple episodes, I believe, along with the presence of any black folk in the show, to which I think I commented. Somebody was like, "Well, if you're not going to let us say kind of racist stuff, we're not going to even give black people jobs." But somebody was like, "Hey, you know what? You could do it again, guys." And they were like, "Fuck yeah, thanks, Mike Eisner," or whatever the fucking Bob Eisner, or whatever,
Bob Eisner.
Bob Iger, the head of Disney or whatever. Mike Eisner, right? At that point,
It's Bob.
that's today, back in the 90s.
Oh, I don't know.
They went down and communed with Walt Disney's head. Um, Also a fascist. Fun fact.
Anti-Semitic, yeah.
Anti-Semitic fascist. Okay, so but yeah, so Wanda Grace is like, "Can Big have me committed?" Liz
Yes.
Vassey's
And
like, "Yeah, kind
well,
of."
well, she doesn't say, can he get me committed? How does one get somebody committed? And it's funny because Kathy's a smart gal, but she doesn't seem to pick up that Wanda that she's talking about herself, that Leanne is talking about herself. It's very strange. And
Almost like
then
it's a bad show.
yeah,
Almost
almost.
like it. Almost like it.
If it wasn't so good.
If it wasn't so good. Pin in that, actually. Um, so Kathy's gonna have two more experiences with the dog. They might be
One
in the
where the
same
dog
thing.
saves her life.
One where the dog saves her life, and then another where she's sitting with the dog, which could be right after that, and I don't fucking remember because I don't care. And Deputy Rapist pulls up and says, "I'm gonna take that fucking dog." And he's like, and she's like, "It's my dog." He's like, "Cool. It's a
You're in
fucking
you're in
you're in
violation
violation."
of leash laws, blah blah
This
blah.
show could have been so dear to my heart, as I don't know how many times you've left in on the show. there's the wonderful scene at the end of Daredevil Born Again season 1, where the Punisher is fighting the corrupt New York police officers, and he gets out his knife. And so you gotta remember this, folks, for 2026. You take your little knife, you chop the guy's dick in half, then you stab him in the neck till he's dead. You can do that from a position where they've got you grabbed from behind, because you can reach down and fucking just slice that fucking wiener in half.
Well,
You
what
gotta
if you get
go
your own? What if you get your own?
practice. Most likely it's going to be a woman trying to protect herself. And some women
Some
are going to
women
want to
might
get
get hurt.
around that thing. So be careful. But that is the way to do it. Watch the show on repeat because it makes you feel good about some things in the world, which is a little weird for Disney. But then I thought, dude's going to make a move on her and the dog is going to fucking eat his dick.
I hoped. Yeah.
No, because deputy rapist. Oh shucks, he's such a sweet boy. Okay, so he
So
impales
takes the dog. He takes the dog. He tells I almost called her Liz because isn't that her real name?
Yeah,
Okay, he tells Kathy that there was a dog that attacked a woman and he needs to take this dog because it's not leashed, and he
yeah,
suspects that it's the dog that attacked somebody.
or something.
Something.
But then we have the local preacher is bringing in his Jesuit preacher friend from divinity school who went rogue.
Does he has an experience though with Leanne first that scares him because she talking to Wanda Grace, not channeling her necessarily, but Wanda Grace gives her some information about him and it scares him. And he's like, we got to call in the big guns. This guy who's a Jesuit who got fired from his job for personal things does sort of more serious exorcism work. And so they call this weird guy who only lives in shadows.
Played by David McClellan. He gives off evil preacher vibes.
Yeah. He does not seem like a good guy.
No. So then he's gonna like hang a bunch of bottles on a tree to make a spirit tree. He has a run-in with Bo Bridges. Bo Bridges
With like any good guest, he doesn't introduce himself to the people whose property he's on. I don't know. And so Bo Bridges guesses who he is correctly. I don't know.
It's a great scene. We are excuse me. We then get the deputy cleaning up poop in the pen, seeing something in Kathy's dog's poop, digging it out, and it is a ring.
Okay. Yeah.
Okay, finally. Problem with this episode, too, in my recollection, is I disliked it so much that I stopped halfway through to do something else for it.
Wow.
Yeah. However, the second half is better because we're going to retain lots of the Wanda Grace problems, but it is going to be about Wanda Grace and Leanne teaming up to save David Cleland's dark soul.
Yeah.
And they don't fuck around with it. The resolution is going to be David McClellan looking Bo Bridges straight in the face and being like, Wanda Grace is a blessing and a miracle, and you should be happy to have her in your life.
Yeah.
They're going to fuck other stuff up, so it doesn't matter. They are also going to do the show's best mystery ever, where we have the dog. Now, Kathy keeps saying that it's a great dog and it would never hurt anybody. We don't get any of those establishing scenes with Kathy because it's a bad show.
Yeah. So the only thing we as the audience have to go on is what we have seen, which is he's saved her life. He is, I'm assuming it's a boy dog. He is sweet and gentle and loyal, seemingly loyal. He doesn't leave her side. He's following her around. She's talking to the dog like it's a person and ends up going, there are stalking laws in this state. It's very weird. But like that's the only thing we see about this dog.
Yep. Okay. So we then have this other thing going on where the sheriff's trying to get a statement from the lady without the fingers.
Mm-hmm.
She says it was a dog. It was an animal, or it was a dog. It wasn't a man.
Yeah.
Could have been a gator man.
Or a man gator.
No, man gator's the man on top, gator on bottom.
Oh.
So, but then she sees the nurse in the room and she's like, that's my ring that got eaten up. And the nurse
It was on
like,
one of these fingers, and then she
yeah.
holds up her hand.
Nurse is like, no, my fiance, deputy rapist, gave it to me this morning when he proposed at the IHOP. Sheriff's like, oh, sheriff. So the two lady taps get in an argument over the rig at the bed. The sheriff is standing at the foot of the bed.
Mm-hmm.
His introduction to breaking up the argument is, ladies, what's going on here?
It's good writing. Just solid writing.
You know, I just remind myself that this is not what all television was like in 1998. Okay, so maybe we cut to the pound with Kathy's there giving her dog a treat and
She's
then
giving
the other dogs treats.
Yeah.
And sheriff and deputy rapist come in and they're like, where did you get it? And he's like, I don't know, from that dog. Kathy comes out and says, that dog's not vicious, blah, blah, blah. They end up in court.
The
No,
judge.
they don't. Nope, they don't end up in court. They're like, fuck you, Kathy. You don't know what you're talking about. You're just a girl. This is a killer dog if I ever seen one. Kathy leaves. We cut to women supporting women, babe. Oh, no, women manipulating women and being really fucking weird and just really, I mean, hashtag sisterhood, I think. So Kathy pulls up with the nurse and eggs the nurse on to go yell at deputy rapist for giving her a shit ring that was somebody else's anyway. Part of this will have the nurse saying, us pretty women need to stick together. Kathy looks at her, rolls her eyes, and it's like, yeah, I guess so. It does not come off like Kathy's like, wow, read some Susan B. Anthony. We're both white. It's more like, I'm fucking hot, you're not.
I didn't read it that way at all.
Okay,
I just read it like what is this woman talking about? Like,
okay.
Yeah, I didn't read it that way at all. I didn't read it as she's not hot. I read it as like, why are we even talking about why we're hot?
Okay.
That's how I read it.
Assume positive intent.
That's what I'm the best at.
Okay, so nurse runs in.
You hear
Kathy
yelling.
Counts down the yelling. Kathy goes in and steals the dog.
Mm-hmm.
We then cut to possibly David McClellan's first exorcism attempt. He runs out, not willing to do it because Wanda Grace knows too much about him. And judge is like, I'll give you $3,000. And dude's like, fine, as long as no refunds, baby.
And you pay for all of my expenses.
Which has got to be $32.14. Next day, sheriff shows up at Kathy's office, which is in the police station.
Yeah.
Which, propaganda things aside, going back to at least the 1980s, and I would imagine the 1970s, if not potentially in the 60s, police headquarters has been a standard television program set.
Mm-hmm.
Right? Like, fucking A, maybe they wrote a Time magazine article about how it worked for Hill Street at season 5 or some shit, right? Like, it's been a thing. It's it's not like a trope. It's just one of the, I mean, I guess it is a trope. Sadly, Emily's husband, Barry Levinson, is on it. Nope. Barry Sonnenfeld. Emily wishes she was married to Barry Levinson, who I think would be an even dirtier old man than Barry Sonnenfeld. Anyway, so, but it's just, it's so bad. The vermicitude of this show is, again, worse than Dracula's series.
Yeah.
Okay, so they go to court. Dog's there.
Dog is there. The sheriff is trying to convince the judge that the dog is evil, nasty. It bit this woman. It attacked this woman. And Kathy, not using any of her lawyer skills, is just going, "We love this dog. It is a beautiful, wonderful creature from heaven, and don't do anything to harm. It would never harm anybody." And the judge brings some good old country boy skills to the table and says, "I can tell the judge the character of an animal just by looking at his teeth." And
I believe he says that just like I can with a man.
Oh, gross.
Yeah.
So he takes a good look at the dog's teeth, says, "This is a well-bred dog, no behavioral issues. I can't imagine." And then Leanne comes in and interrupts, and the judge, as he normally does, says, "Oh, hey, honey bun, just give us a second." And the dog goes crazy after Leanne, and the judge is like, "Nope, we're putting that thing down."
Dog goes after the judge.
Oh, I'm sorry. So, yes, we're putting it. I'm giving him too much credit for,
Yes.
trying to defend his wife.
But then the sheriff says, "Wait a second, Judge. I've read my Encyclopedia Brown. It seems like something just happened after you said all that." And so they have a protracted sequence where the judge repeats his last statements, and we discover
where
Honey
Bo
Bunch.
Bridges, pretends not to remember his lines.
Yes.
But we discover that honey bun is
The
a trigger word for the dog, and the dog goes bonkers. I don't remember, however, the lady with the three fingers bit off relaying that piece of information to the sheriff that she was calling out honey bun or whatever. I don't remember making that connection. So
no.
that's weird. But
Well, I think because they don't know who the suspect is, right? Like,
well, they must, because they got her ring from the poop of that dog, right?
yeah.
So they must
But
know.
how no, don't they catch the preacher some other way? Like,
No, well, they catch the thing with the preacher is something different, right? The only thing it has to do with the dog is that the dog actually belongs to somebody else. But I wonder if did they have like microchips in dogs in the 90s?
no, dude, the town preacher who
Right.
he is the villain. He
Oh, I
trained a
know.
dog to kill his woman. Yes,
He
he did.
he borrowed a dog from a cousin or something to attack her.
Yeah, but to kill her. And like the cousin who we are not familiar with it would have helped if this had been in there somewhere. He trained the dog to kill based on this command. And everybody in town knew exactly where the dog would have come from with that sort of training. But where does the last scene happen? Doesn't it happen in the church or does it happen in the courtroom?
It's not in the we go back to no, we already talked about that. So
Okay.
the streaming service that I'm watching this on was cutting out every 15 seconds. So I didn't actually make it to the end of the episode because it hit time to record before I could finish. So the last I remember is the judge in a jail cell with the preacher giving us this exposition.
Okay.
But
So
before that, Kathy and the sheriff have a little one-on-one because they decided not to kill the dog. But I don't know what happened to the dog.
Leanne has psychically cured the dog by the end of the episode.
Right, I do remember that, yeah.
And names it Honey Bunch. The dog will be given to Preacher Man, who leaves town a whole man again after the second exorcism, or the real exorcism, the $3,000 one, where basically, what's her face? Leanne, with Wanda Grace's help, gives the preacher, I don't know,
The closure he needed from
15 seconds of
yeah.
really basic therapy, and the guy's like, holy shit, I'm fine.
Holy shit, I'm fine, and I'm not an alcoholic anymore.
I'm not an alcoholic, and I'm not a psychotic
very weird
villain anymore. Cool. So he goes off happy and fulfilled. I think the dog scene happens at the courthouse or the final resolution, because no, it can't, because Leanne and Okay, so Leanne, after the final scene with Dude, Leanne and Big go and have ice cream without Wanda June,
Wanda Grace.
Wanda Grace, and the finish is this very nice long sequence of the church that has a new pastor and the ladies playing on the piano with their two fingers gone. But then it turns out, hey now, this is a great show. The Okeechobee Wolfman is real and is going to rape her now and probably kill her.
I see. I didn't even get to that point, but you did miss something else that was big, which because we were trying to figure out what happened when, foolishly, because it doesn't matter, that the preacher was the one meeting the musical director of the church. He was the one that she was calling honey bun, and he thought, or she threatened to tell his wife that they were having an affair, ruin his life, etc., etc. So of course you get a dog to try to kill her.
Oh, right. I forgot about this. This scene comes when he's telling it to his childhood best friend, Maximum Bob,
Mm-hmm.
who then said, Maximum Bob, who, by the way, in our episode or in our opening recaps until just 2 episodes ago, included a reference to him trying to force Liz Vassy into having sex with him.
Yeah.
In the first episode, it is highly implied that he spends his nights out with a different woman every night, leaving Leanne at home with Wanda Grace. That changes by the second episode. And we have been doing this like sweet redemption arc for the two of them, which
Mm-hmm.
sort of
Goes away.
like, well, it goes away, but it's back in this one to some degree by the end because he stops the exorcism because he's sick of, he doesn't want to see this happening. That's what happens.
Mm.
He sees the exorcism, stops it because it's hurting Leanne. The preacher's there. They're using the regular town church.
Mm.
So the preacher's in the scene when Mistress comes in and shoots. That's what
Yes,
happens.
that's right.
Yeah,
That's right.
I could write this show.
I forgot about that. The most dramatic scene in the whole thing. Kind of an interesting shot. Like it's shot at a weird angle where she comes in with the gun.
it's
It's interesting. I'll say that.
yes. I mean, it's again, by definition, this is probably the best episode. Okay. For not being the worst and being not as bad as last episode, which means it's better. So technically. Okay. So then do old white guy tells other old white guy, you gotta fucking get me off, man. Your mom loved me. Bo Bridges is like, man, you got fucking caught. You gotta pay the consequences. You want to fuck around, did you get caught? You gotta pay the consequences.
And the concept of maximum Bob has completely gone by the wayside. We mentioned this a couple episodes ago, where it's just like, yes, so he's not going to be corrupt in this one. He's not going to get his best friend off, but he's also not like death row for you. Like, I don't know.
He does say he'll sentence him to the maximum that he can.
Yeah.
Yeah. So big, but we don't actually get anything about how Wanda Grace through Leanne is trying to save Big till his big moment.
Nope. Nothing.
Even though this is a big moment for him.
This is the arc of the series going barely mentioned. It's very weird.
Such a good show.
Get Russell T Davies in there. He's good at story arcs. All right.
We have
Well,
the
that's it.
preview for next episode.
Which I didn't get to.
Which you
Yeah.
didn't get to watch.
Let me get to the next episode. We're so close to being done, by the way.
I know. I think it's 2 more.
2 more. So we have 2, 3, 4, 5. Good dog Carl next week. Episode 6 is Dead Babe Walking.
Yes. Say the words. Say dead child walking.
No.
around.
Bob falls for a born-again death row inmate. Bob, married to Leanne, falls for this. Okay. After old Sparky blows a fuse.
I'm remembering now. Okay.
Bob works with Kathy to find a way to let the prisoner off the hook. And Inez, aka Beth Grant, comes to work for Leanne as her personal aide. So now we're getting back to Bob being a philandering jerk. I don't know that I like this.
I think it might play different if I remembering,
Okay.
but also maybe this wasn't the vibe it was giving off.
Okay. Well,
Um,
anyway, I
anyway,
guess we'll find out next time. I can't wait. Andrew, see you next week when we discuss Maximum Bob episode 6. Only 2 left. I'll see you in television land.
see you in television land, Emily.